Datatal Release Notes version 1405. The first item on the release notes is a new report that has been added under the Reports menu, Statistics, Sales Lead Invoice Report. This report displays figures generated from the lead to receipt process only. It is important to note that the date picker works on a month-to-month basis. The user is able to view the report for the last 3, 6, or 12 months, or select a custom date range beginning with the first day of the month and the last day of the month. On the left, the user is able to see data products grouped by their commission categories. On the graph, the user is able to see trends as well as totals for number of paid sales invoices, number of sales invoices, non-recurring revenue, recurring excluding VAT, bandwidth excluding VAT, and bandwidth job card excluding VAT. The user is also able to expand and collapse further information to view each lead by their invoice number and that invoice's details. The user can click to see the job card linked to the invoice as well as the original invoice. Next, under the lead to receipt process for job cards which are new and active, the user is able to see the VAT type drop-down. They are also able to then change the VAT type at this point and click Update to save. Under the Invoicing menu, when a user chooses to push all to Sage 1 or push selected, if they have an invoice that they would like to delete, but the push has already started, they are able to still delete that invoice, granted that it has not passed through the push process. These invoices will then not be included in the batch that gets pushed to Sage 1. Important changes have been made regarding the VAT settings in Datatal. This affects customers using the sales and billing module as well as accounting integration to Sage 1. We have added the Sage 1 default tax type drop-down. This relates to the billing settings under billing setup default tax rates. If a user has their default tax rate set up here with the correct effective dates, the system will use these settings and override what the user has set up as their Sage 1 default tax type. The reverse is true. If the user does not have their default tax rate set up, the system will then use what has been set under Sage 1 default tax type. It is also important to note that the user cannot set the same effective date for more than one VAT rate. Validation will appear. Next, an addition has been made to the recurring billing entries menu. There is a new filter that allows the user to filter recurring billing entries based on if they are in sync or out of sync with the current billing period that displays on the top right-hand corner. The user needs to add the column by clicking on Show Hide Columns and choosing the In Sync column. The user can then filter, for example, by out of sync items, and the column will display No. Next, users can no longer delete customer categories that are linked to customers. For example, the first category, Statement Sync Pending, has 2 customers linked to it. When trying to delete the category, validation appears to state unable to delete customer category. There are still customers linked to this category. Please remove customers first before deleting. Next, under the Radius NAS list, when adding or editing a NAS, the user has 2 options to enable now. The first is Use Proxy NAS for POD. As the tooltip says, when enabled, the Radius disconnect packet will be sent to the proxy NAS instead of the NAS the user is authenticated on. The user can then also enable Use Proxy NAS for COA. When enabled, the Radius change of authorization packet will be sent to the proxy NAS instead. The last item for our release notes is LTE data accounts. Once a user has added an LTE data account, they are able to view the registration status. This is found by navigating to Data, LTE Setup, Data Accounts. For example, BERT33, the data account, has been added and is still in a pending registration status, meaning the registration has not been submitted. Therefore, I am still able to delete the data account. Give it a few seconds and the screen will refresh. However, For LTE data accounts that are in a pending activation status or registration submitted status, those LTE data accounts cannot be deleted. For example, we will look at this customer. Has a pending activation status. Therefore, when trying to delete the account, validation should appear, which states LTE data account cannot be deleted while pending activation. Further to that, Datatool has made a number of various cosmetic and minor bug corrections and enhancements.